Are you struggling to add particles.js to your Angular app? You're not alone. Many developers face this challenge, but today we're going to simplify the process and get those particles dancing on your screen. I totally get it. It can be really frustrating when you want to enhance your app's visuals but don't know where to start. You're not the only one who has felt this way, and I'm here to help you through it. Let's dive into the specific question at hand. One user asked, how do I import and use particles.js in my Angular app? They mentioned they added it to the angular-cli.json file and imported it into their component, but they were still having trouble getting it to work. Sound familiar? Let's tackle this together. So, what could be going wrong? Sometimes it's just a small configuration issue or a missing step in the initialization process. Don't worry, we'll break it down step by step to ensure you get it right. And stick around, I have a special tip at the end that will make using particles.js even easier for you. To begin integrating particles.js into the Angular application, the user should ensure that the particles.js library is correctly added to the project. This involves checking the .angular-hila.json file to confirm that the script path is accurate. Next, the user needs to import particles.js into their component file. This is done by adding an import statement at the top of the component where particles.js will be used. After importing, the user should initialize particles.js. This involves calling the load function with the correct parameters. The first parameter is the ID of the HTML element where the particles will be displayed, and the second is the path to the configuration file. Finally, the user should ensure that the HTML file contains a div element with the ID specified in the initialization step. This is where the particles will be rendered. Fun fact, did you know that particles.js was inspired by the popular particle systems used in video games? Now you can bring that same magic to your web applications. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution has been provided by another user. They mention that the original approach works well in Angular 8, but requires a small adjustment. Specifically, in the particles.component.ts file, change the 28th line from using @viewChild without options to @viewChild with static set to true. This change prevents an error that occurs in Angular 8. Additionally, the user suggests changing the background color of the particles component. Since the particles are white, using a different background color will make them visible. That's it for that answer. Let's take a look at another one. One user encountered an error related to strict mode functions while using particles.js. They suggest modifying the particles.js file to fix this issue. The user recommends changing the function definition to avoid using arguments.callee. Instead, they suggest using a named function for recursion. Here's a pro tip. Always check your console for errors after loading particles.js. It can give you clues if something isn't working as expected. And there you have it. With these steps, you should be able to successfully import and use particles.js in your Angular app. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks. And remember, keep experimenting with your projects.